Mukti! I am so excited to have Mukti again. He is one of my dearest and most favorite in the whole wide world. And I'm not going to go on and on because I know first.
Okay, yes. So let's do, of course, we have to do a prayer. And last time it was a very long prayer. It was, of course, the Ushnisha Vijay Dharani, which takes about a minute to recite. But it's auspicious for, just the sound vibration is auspicious for making the plants grow better, better weather, reducing crime, and happy households, intelligent children, honest government, healthy banking system. So this one is very short. And anyway, Namaskar Mudra like so. And whenever we hear these mantras, we always want to envision maybe a challenge in our life and also transmute it during the sound vibration. You transmute it into the most positive scenario imaginable. Okay? Even world peace, yeah? Exactly. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshana Vasudevaya Danvantaraye Amrita Kala Sastaya Sarva Bahaya Vanasaya Savaroka Nivaranaya Trilokya Pataye Trilokya Nitaye Sri Mahavishnu Sarupa Sridhamantri Sarup Shri Shatachakra Narayana Swaha. And together, you and I, ready, Diane and Seraphima? Oh. May all be happy, healthy, and prosperous.
It's always so good to see you. I get a natural just fills me up. So I'm really happy to see you, and I'm happy to see Seraphima. Come on, Seraphima, just peek.
Hi.
Hi. It's great to see you guys. Huh?
How are you today?
I'm very excited to see the both of you. It's like the best thing ever. It really is. It's like the best meal.
Florida mangoes. Florida mangoes. Oh my goodness! You can't even describe it. You can't.
I can't imagine being able to walk across the street and pick a mango.
Oh,
it's like a total perk.
The tree is just laden with these mangoes. Just Mother Earth taking care of us.
That's amazing. Are we ready to dive into the world of Mukti?
Hit it, girl, hit it. Massage, all of our esteemed massage colleagues and yoga colleagues, all the healers in their folk medicines, and welcome for sure.
So one of the things I was thinking about as I was getting ready to talk to you, and of course I was getting excited, and I was looking at some of your stuff online, but even before that, I was flashing back to my first class with you, which was 2004. And I remember you were coming to the Philadelphia area, and at that time, I didn't even know what a CEU was, right? And I had barely heard of Thai massage. I mean, Ohashi was, of course, starting a movement in New York, but you were like on the forefront. You were like one of the first people I felt like that, one, I heard CEU from, and two, that I didn't even know that there was a thing called Thai, and you were already pretty deep into. I mean, how many times have you gone to Thailand?
I've been to Thailand about 12 times now, and I've attended 5 different schools.
So, I mean, you have been on the forefront, which is, I think you're one of my favorite teachers in the whole wide world. But because you incorporate so much goodness, like I went to your class and I was like, and I'm learning all this crazy cool stuff. It was just one of the best days ever. And I just got to take a class with you guys recently, and it was just so cool.
Thank you.
I just wanted to express to anyone that's listening in or sees this video just what a remarkable man you are and how long you've been doing this thing. And it's just so cool. It's amazing. And there's no one like you.
Thank
you. I have some questions for you.
Please.
Well, hold on. Now I just went on and on. Oh yeah. That's one of the things I wanted to know. I wanted to know how many massages have you had in Thailand?
That's a good question, Diane. I mean, we go there for that reason because they are inexpensive and literally like $9, $10, $11 for an hour and a half. And but I don't know. I've had dozens and dozens of sessions from rural people and city people, and but that's the value of it, learning, of course, by receiving also.
And what would you say the main difference is if you say you get a massage there versus here?
Well, just imagine a country whose one of their main income is massage. So that right there is something to think about. But yeah, it's there. I mean, you can get a very casual one. You get a street session, and they're going to probably sometimes have the TV on, and when they wrap it all up, they just put a pillow here. They sit up against the wall, and you just rest against them like this, and they'll do your head, and it's extremely casual. It's indescribably communal and social, and family oriented and all that. And then of course you can get the ones which are in a hotel, those sessions. But of course, we're always looking for that really exotic and mysterious one, which it takes a little bit to find that. But I get the question all the time, where should I go? Who should I go to see? You just roll the dice. You can walk off the street sometime and to a street vendor and walk out of there with just your eyes flooding with tears also.
That's awesome. And one of the things too that I wanted to jump right into is ego and false ego. And if you would describe the both of those, and then just tell me a little bit about you as a teacher, how you talk about dealing with the ego.
Yeah, thank you, Diane. You just sent me that last night, so I thought about it a little bit. And just a quantum leap ahead of everything, really what we'd like to talk about is how do we get over on it and like that. But there is a healthy ego, and then there is what the Vedas are addressing constantly. It's called ahankara, Hankara, ahankara. And it means false ego. It's a very subtle element. And but the way that we address it, or the way that I address it, is to serve. We have two choices. We can serve ourselves and our senses, or we can serve other people. And serving other people is pretty much a quantum leap into transcending that influence, which is a ceiling. It's a limitation. And during body work, I've been actually spending time talking about, getting beyond this limiting factor, because we really do want to see the miracles in our session, and such as levitation. Oh my goodness, levitation, raising the dead, which used to be a part of so many medicines, and also what was the other one? Raising the dead, levitation, and spontaneous healing. We want to see all that, and but if our ego is there, there's going to be this limitation. So, excuse me. It's a significant topic. The way that I've personally been dealing with it, and to be honest with you, it's really just something that's shown up on the method to get over it during session I'm talking about, is this internalizing our awareness. If I asked you right now to focus on the jewel between your eyebrows, it would take some, of course, your intelligence would be activated. There's some details, some intricacies, and those intricacies are actually serving us to internalize our awareness. If I asked you to contract your perineal muscle right now, that alone, just the desire to perfect it, and the intricacies of contracting the urethra, contracting the anal muscle, contracting, that's going to very gently usher our consciousness internally. And then, of course, all of that process is actually disappearing the external world. And in that process of disappearing the external world, we get to become one with the receiver, or with whatever task we're doing: gardening, writing a song, dancing, cooking. And that becoming one is, what meditation is all about. Of course, some are wanting to become one with God. But that this is the method to, serve and address the ahankara, the false ego. Yeah.
And I think too, for me, I don't know about you, but when I'm in service, just in service in general, doing things, sharing my experience with people, helping someone who might be sad or whatever, but that service gets me out of my head,
Exactly.
right? It gets
Exactly.
me into my soul.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then I'm sorry, go ahead, Diane. Sorry.
It gets me into my soul. It just is like almost like that service, that outward motion for me sometimes is actually,
Yeah.
it like gets me out of the ego part.
So, and then in the yoga tradition, you get to add another layer to that, and it's called bhakti. And so you get to actually connect, like yoking. Yoga means to yoke. So let's say we're serving, any disenfranchised situation. Then we get to layer that with connecting with the supreme being, and that's called smaranam, to remember. And that's for me, it's become a real secret for transcending the ego and also having a good session. It's not a session which is tedious, not a session which is, oh my God, I'm going to be losing energy and things, but just a session which is enlivening, refreshing, and dharma. Like this is what I'm here for. Like so.
And I think I've heard it too. I think I've heard it somewhere too. It's, a session should be like a dance.
Yeah.
The first time you dance with someone, it might be a little like,
Yes.
but then, the more time you spend with people, the dance can be almost like like a high. It's like, it's a great experience.
Yeah. And Thai massage is very much a part of that, really wants it. The more you can perform the art, of course, there's 10,000 ways of getting lazy in the art. I found all 10,000 of them. But the more that we can perform it, the closer we'll get to, the original intention and essence of the art.
And so I have to, this is one of my favorite things that you talk about. So the whole like I am a healer thing. I mean, I know we talked about it last time I spoke to you, but I just feel like this is one that I would like as many people's opinion on as many different ways so that's able to sink into all of us. I am a healer. How do you feel about that?
There's a wonderful story of this great emperor, and his kingdom was doing really, really well, and he was up on the podium, and he was just going on about himself, just going on and on about, everything grand, and look what he's done, look what he's done. And as he was speaking, he was looking up, and he was opening his mouth, talking about himself, and a bird pooped in his mouth. And so the emperor sent his whole military after this bird. They finally got, and the bird started talking to the emperor and saying that, basically addressing the whole ego thing. We're not Ram, we're not Krishna, we're not Christ, we're not Mary. We are a servant of these beings, and they are a servant of us also. And so it was a wonderful story. Actually, when I read that story, I was sobbing. I was sobbing. And I'll never forget it. But yeah, so it's, you see the new people, the newbies, they're coming out, they're all jazzed, they're all excited after a session, and they're inspired. So you can't do much about that. But for those on the, been around for a while, it's we need to be careful of look what I've done, look what I've done, look what I've done. Bhagavad Gita informs us that there's 5 different factors for any occurrence, and one of them is the supreme being is also. So whatever it is, we want to keep that in mind too.
I'm always like, I was just in the right place at the right time. Maybe it's just that. I was just in the right place at the right time, and you decided to get well. Yay.
No, exactly. Okay, yeah. Yeah, intuition and good fortune. And just by looking at you, Diane, I see good fortune.
Aw. Just by looking at you, I see it too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm serious. I every time I'm around you, I just get so excited. And then okay, so there are four parts of Vedic culture.
Yep.
Could you talk about those and what parts you use in your work?
I can talk about them, and but I really want to preface it by saying I'm absolutely not a scholar. I'm blue collar. I'm a technician. But there are 4 categories in the Vedic culture. There's Rig Veda, Soma Veda, Tarva Veda, and of course the Ayurveda, which is the medicine. The other ones are representing family life, military, and spirituality. It's also equated with the four legs on the cow, which is all about Dharma. Buddha addresses it too, mercy, cleanliness, austerity, and diligence, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's, part of who we are wants to have some type of agreement internally that we understand that there is a successful social order. Some people choose, communism. Some people choose capitalism, democracy. Vedic culture has Varnashram Dharma, and the legs representing the sudras or the workers or the support system. And we have lots of friends there. Also, you have the arms, which is military and security and police, and you have the body, which is the mercantile. And then you have the head, of course, which is spirituality, priests, priestesses, like that. Astrologers, all are very sensitive. And so, yeah, it's called Varnashram Dharma. It's really it's mentioned in the Vedas. And for those of us who are looking for a social order, is it liberalism? Is it conservatism? What is it? They may want to check into that. Massage therapists are they're a unique category. They're beyond it all. For example, to touch somebody's feet is not recommended in the Vedic culture because there's a transference of, as we know, some subtle energies, and could be more extreme than that also. But massage therapists are sort of given license to be able to do that. But of course, we have some our cautions there. Same thing with touching somebody's head. Massage therapists are giving liberty as therapists to do that, but you wouldn't even think of doing that when you were around, sages and mystics and transcendentalists and aesthetics and mendicants and things, what to speak of other colleagues. It's, basically asking permission. May I massage your cranium now? May I massage your neck and things? So why are we talking about all this? Another question, please. Okay. I'm the worst. I'll go off on these tangents, okay, what do you?
I'm just traveling with you. I'm there with you.
Go ahead.
You're talking about the different parts of the Vedic culture and which ones you use in your you're called the Vedic Conservatory, and it adds a little bit of a twist on the tie thing and makes you an individual. And like I've said before, I really think you've created your own kind of thing, and it's beautiful. And so I guess I was trying to get to the base of what that Vedic was and why you chose that word, and what really drew you to it.
Yeah, Vedic culture it could be one of the original ones. We know this because the language is Sanskrit. It's the mother tongue of all the Indo-Aryan cultures. And but then again, scholars know that, okay, what about China? What about Sumeria with cuneiform script and all that? But essentially, it's a good place to take shelter because so many techniques, Feldenkrais, Alexander, Rolfing, Swedish, myofascial release, cranial sacral, Twina, they all have a source. And part of our job is to, not limit our categories by saying, oh, well, I'm just a myofascial release person and I'm cranial sacral exclusively, but to really whatever works and represent ourselves like that. But some of us like to know, medical archaeology, where is it all coming from, and like that. So, I was very fascinated with the Vedic culture, and still am. And, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata epics are the largest epics on the planet, the biggest stories on the planet. And I recommend people to go there. Sarafima wants to answer the question also.
Go ahead, Dora, come on over.
I can answer in my interview next time.
She said she'll answer in the interview next time. She's shy. She's sitting on the floor eating mangoes or something.
No,
Okay.
So one more thing, because one of the things you touched on was, crying, and that's for some people, I'm a crier, I get moved and I'm like, whoa. I always say, tears are the soul sweating, it's just letting stuff out that has to come out. And I know that someone's really touched me, when I have tears, and we used to talk more about emotional releases and body work. I mean, a lot of people used to come just for like, I want to have an emotional release. I just have these pent up emotions. We don't talk about it as much in current day, but in your work and some of your talks, you talk about, you know, the emotional and the physical benefits. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. You know, we were prohibited in the beginning because we were all afraid, you know, of wandering over into this psychological world, you know. And yet, how many times emotional releases have happened on the massage table, on the massage futon, on the massage chair? And so, yeah, we just got honored. It's, you know, I want you just to cultivate that because, you know, Diane, to see, you know, you're always tearing up, and you see in the closing circles, there's a few people that let it go too. Cultivate that. That's the opening of the heart. Don't forget, there's lots of people who cannot do that. There's still layers, and as Wilhelm Reich talks about, you know, these orgon, these layering of this armoring around our body and our heart. And so the massage therapists need to celebrate this inherent ability and capacity to, if you touch somebody with love, unconditional love, they're not used to that. People aren't used to it. They're used to being touched either sexually, and that's in our culture, it's got loaded with hypocrisy and guilt and everything else. But if you learn how to touch somebody with unconditional love, oh my goodness, you know, the session, it's over. It's done. You've done everything. The person is just do whatever you want now. I feel great, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we want to celebrate that aspect of our art and not be anything but confident. The other thing I want to say about that is that there really is, when a person has an emotional release, there's no need to come up and cuddle them and, you know, say, you know, baby them and all that stuff. The best thing we can do is encourage them to continue to breathe deeply, because otherwise their mind is going to come onto the scene and their mind is going to invalidate what the mind does. The Buddhists say it could be the tyranny of the drunken monkey. Bhagavad Gita says, Nadanam Najanam Nasundar. No, that's not it. Ishvara Sarva, and that's not it either. There's some verse that addresses that the mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And so all massage therapists need to know this, that there's nothing you need to do to the person. You want to be with the person. You want to encourage them to keep breathing, because here they are having this probably one of the most wonderful moments of their life. Their mind is going to say, oh, you're a rascal. You're not sincere. If you continue to have them breathe deeply, they will go beyond. The breathing will override the mind.
I love that you're saying that. I think that's, like I said, I think that's one of those things that's almost like a little bit lost, you know, because it does. I mean, over the years, I've had people just get really emotional and upset, and, you know, you just see tears starting to come down their face, you know, and I agree with you 100%. I'm glad that you said that, you know, just giving them that space, not coddling them, not getting too focused on it, but just letting them have it, because they might have been waiting for that for a really long time. It might have been like something they really were waiting for, and finally they got it. And I don't want to be in their face like, hey man, what's going on?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? You know?
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. I think that was awesome.
Oh, my pleasure, honey.
What else do we have? Okay, so we covered that. So I just want to, well, I'm just going to go off the top here. So I was looking online and I saw you have this really cool new app thing where people can see all kinds of awesome videos of you, and then they can pick them up and own them and watch them.
Yeah,
Tell me about that. That's awesome. I was like, Mukti, going online. That was awesome.
Well, I actually feel like I'm behind on this because, but yeah, we went electronic and everything now, manuals and DVDs and all of that are electronic now. Very proud of it. I mean, I was actually kind of in retirement mode. I've been doing this so long, and then of course I ran into this very youthful energy, and my God, Krishna said, you know, you're not getting off the hook yet. So we have it all online now, and very proud of it. Table lessons are there. You can and futon, of course. You can purchase them in segments, you know, just very, very brief, 17 minutes, 12 minute, 28 minute, or we have what's called a bundle package where you can just purchase groups of them together, you know, all prone, all supine, or all of that.
I know, I saw.
Yeah, we're excited about it, and you know, it's our contribution to the industry. Maybe there'll be a few dollars made. I don't know. I see my karma seems to be a little bit, but anyway, I'm going to keep going no matter what, you know.
And there's some stuff that you can just watch on there too. I was watching a couple things yesterday.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're always like, so like I said, one of the things I've always really admired about you is all the things that you know so many things, and the way you speak about them is just so awesome. Hi, see you again. It's so awesome. So I would encourage all of you to get on, and I'll post how they get on to the app after we're done. So one more, like this is one of my favorites, and I want.
I just want to give credit where credit's due, okay? And it's that person right there who just, you know.
Woo!
Yeah, she cracks the whip, and I'm not allowed to rest too much, okay?
Which is good. I think one of the things that we have to keep doing, and you actually said it in the last class, was we have to keep moving, we have to keep moving, and two, we were given the gift of starting in this career at an early age here in a country that's been super supportive of it. And it's just, and I think it's important to keep the art, keep the art, keep it alive and keep it pure.
Look what happens when people retire, it's basically signing off. So I don't know if retirements really should be part of our vocabulary too much,
Yeah, I don't think I don't know if that's possible for me either.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, me either.
So one last thing. Okay, so IID, just say it again, because I want to keep putting some of these things home. And I also, too, I want people to take your classes so that they can have the kind of the experience that I had. Because like I said, one, I do most of my work on the table. So here I am all of a sudden using my feet, using my feet, using my whole body in a completely different way. And, when you're doing that, something completely different than what you're used to, it's very humbling. And then all of a sudden I went from, I am the massage mentor to, I'm the massage mentor. How you doing? you get humbled, and you wrap so much of the emotional, and we do some meditations. And by the time I'm leaving, I'm crying because I'm so happy and full. So I really hope that anybody that's watching or watches, please, you got to check out Mukti. It just doesn't get any richer and fuller and delicious, as you say, than that.
IID is a lesson. It's an acronym for introduce yourself, investigate, then discover. So for the newbies in our art, to rush to full expression, because it is exciting, you're seeing healing, you're seeing transformation, but to rush there, you're invalidating a lot of experiences on the way there. So introduce yourself on the application, or the stretch release or the compression, effleurage, petrissage, whatever. Introduce yourself first, then investigate, and then go for the gusto or discover. IID. It's probably one of the most important lessons. Why?
Most important.
Because if you do that, you will gain the receiver's trust. If you haven't gained their trust, your workload has now quadrupled. So we're doing this IID so we gain their trust.
So before we end, please tell me what's your, this is not on my list. What is your hope for the massage and bodywork industry? Like what's next for you, and like what's your hope for us?
I'm still with you.
I vanished. Hold on.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I saw the light dim over there.
I'm back.
There you are.
So what would you say? What would you say?
Yeah, for the industry, it's one thing for sure is that we all need to be supporting each other, and not this. We're seeing it with the yoga community a lot. We're seeing it with other departments. It's really no competition. As a matter of fact, there's a school in Thailand that's got it painted on the wall, no competition. And because when you give it away, when you send your client to someplace else, your subconscious is basically saying, oh, you've got a lot of it because you're giving it away. And then what happens is you get a lot of it. But aside from that, there's no need for competition. And there's no need for, charting out your territory and this is mine. It's territorial, and there's no need for that. It's all written in the stars. It's our wealth, our prosperity is written in the palm of our hand when we're born, and but success is the attempt. Okay, success is the attempt. So if we're attempting diligently and sincerely, celebrate your success. And Serafima says we need community also. So I'm agreeing with that.
Community is helping. It's when you can find a help outside, so community will help you.
Yeah, developing community. Here she is. Let's call her the Russian brownie. Look at the nice tangent. She's going back. She's going back tomorrow or Saturday, and I won't see her for a month. And look how nice and brown she got, you guys.
Yeah, that was working hard here.
He's working hard.
So I couldn't agree with you more. And two, one of the things that was first put in my head like 24 years ago was, Diane, there is no competition because there's way more bodies than there are massage therapists.
Yes.
So how could, and also too, like I'm way different than say you are, but we're both really awesome people, and there's going to be a match for everyone. So.
Yes, yeah.
So thank you for saying that.
The way we get clients is you get out on the street and you do these outdoor events, and there should be no question about, how do I get clients? The question that we want to repeat to ourselves every day 108 times is, how do I manage all of these clients? And before we know it, there will be. But one of the keys is to get out onto the street and start to do work outside, do the 7-minute session, the 9-minute session, 12-minute session. Before you know it, there'll be people taking your business card and you're maxed out. It doesn't take anything to max out a private practice, really.
And I can only support and agree with you because that's how I built my business. It's now seen over 12,000 people. I was out on the streets saying hello and massaging people. There's no better reference that they could have than to feel my hands and see my smiley face. A business card is just a business card.
Hey, Diane, how come every time we're going to end the conversation, I start to feel a little sad? I mean,
I know, it's so crazy. I think we should just do like a Skype a week or something. Just check in. You and Serafima can say hello. But I feel sad too.
Yay.
You guys are just deep in my heart. I care about you both very much, and it's just
she's an awesome therapist. Her
oh my God,
interview with Diane's coming up whenever you
coming up.
And
so Serafina worked on me a lot during the class, and I was just like so humbled, and she's so talented. She's very talented. I can't hear.
I said it was just a little bit. Next time, so Philadelphia is coming up in July. So get ready. Just be ready, okay?
I'm ready. I'm gonna start touching my toes every day and getting ready. I'm so excited. So it's really good to see you guys. I'm going to end the broadcast, but hang tight for 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right, everybody, Mukti in the house. I'm going to put all the information possible that you could ever dream to have about Mukti on this post. Check out his app and check out his classes. And please ask him. He'll send you a mango for every purchase on his app. All right, guys. We'll see you later.